All right, everyone, welcome back to another video. We are still in the ruins here. We created our characters, we escaped the Nautiloid ship, and I even showed you how I organized my inventory and toolbars, which no one asked for, but I needed to do it before we could keep playing anyway, so it was a necessary evil. We are all set and ready to go and continue exploring this area, so let's finish up this playthrough. Not the whole playthrough, just this region. All right, we have a book here. Prayers. I don't think there's anything else of note here. We did lots of murder in that last video. My apologies to the victims. All right, we have another room here to explore. More books. I mentioned in the last video, I'm going to save the book. Astarion? Hello? Okay. Sure. I'm going to hold on to the books until the end of our little, or maybe like somewhere in the middle. We're going to group all the books together so I can read you some of the lore that might be pertinent to the rest of the campaign. For those of you who missed the first part of the stream, or this is your first playthrough video that you're coming across, we are playing a rogue that's going to multi-class into ranger. We're going to have lots of fun. And I'm going to explore this room before we move on to that locked door. I think I was going to say something else with that sentence I started, and it just left me, as things often do. I think maybe what I was saying was that there are some books that have pertinent lore in... Oh, actually, you know, I don't need that one. There are some books that have pertinent lore to the story, and then they do a really good job at... telegraphing like what's going to happen next, and there's other books that are just for fluff, or at least so far from what I've seen, so, or they're like D&D lore, things like that. So I'll try and do my best to like sort through them and not waste your time by reading ones that aren't as important, but just in case you wanted to know why I'm reading some and not others.
You do not recognize the language on the plaque.
Great. Oh, we can get some light in here. Found a lever. We'll find out, I suppose. I also asked the stream, but feel free to let me know in the video replay as well, what your preferences are on the looting situation. So if you want me to loot everything and it would be frustrating for you to see me run by things that I don't look at, I can pick up everything I can see. But if... Oh, it opened this door. How nice. But if you would rather me just play quicker and move faster, I can try and not look in every little thing that we come across. All right, we have found ourselves in the Dank Crypt. We're going to continue our pillaging adventure.
This place wasn't built for the living.
Fancy chests in this room. Some large oak doors over here. And some large oak doors that are not locked over here. Let's go to the locked door.
Come on, open up.
We are playing with 2 rogues in the party, so lockpicking is a given. But I can show you how to explore things if you do not have your rogue in your party. If you right click on a computer, I don't know what it is on the controller, you can press examine. and it will tell you different features of whatever the enemy or object is. So we've got medium toughness, which means that it is unusually strong and that it only deals damage if you do at least 22 damage at the same time to it, like with the same hit. And at level 2, it's pretty unlikely. It can happen, but it's pretty unlikely. So it would be hard to just destroy the store, but it's an option. You can see that it actually has vulnerability to slashing and fire damage, which means it would take more damage than usual, twice as much, and also force damage. So you could sit here and try and get a... I don't even know if that would work. You'd have to roll really high. You'd have to roll really high to destroy the door. You can also see that they have resistance to some other things and immunity to these things that are shielded. So better just to lockpick for us, especially with the rogues in the party. And that will let us proceed to the next area. I know some people play without a rogue, like without Astarion, if you aren't playing a rogue yourself.
No sign of a struggle.
As a student of the arcane arts, wizards learn new spells by using these spell scrolls, which applies to Gale, not to us. Yeah, I know some people play without using Astarion or without having a rogue, and I just think that would be such a different game for me. I love being able to lockpick everything. So.
That's Jurgle, scribe of the dead. I didn't think anyone still worshipped him.
Talking about this statue here. Jurgle, god of the dead. Let me do one more loot up here. And if you're wondering why we have Astarion in our party if we are also a rogue and we're kind of doubling up there, for now we only have these 4 people. We will collect some more, but for now that's what we have. And once the chat decides what their core party they want, we can split up the rogues if we're not trying to woo Astarion, but if we are trying to woo him, he will need to be in our party to gain approval. But that is a conversation for later. I split up my characters here, and we're going to have us stationed around the room. I have played this game before several times, and we're just going to do our best to position ourselves well before a fight breaks out that I know is coming. Some might say that's metagaming. Some might say it's a good idea. We're going to keep both of our rogues together because of sneak attack bonuses. Are you coming? And then Gale can walk up here where there's this nice shiny little button.
That's curious.
And we get to fight some baddies. So our rogues are at the top of the turn order. We get sneak attack because we are both flanking them. I thought that said that we hit, but I guess we did not. But that's okay, because we have another rogue here waiting to also sneak. And we're good. Gonna run our rogue this direction and use our bonus action because we're rogue and we can do that now. And then the same thing, we're gonna go back to Astarion who already ended his turn, cancel his ended turn, and also move forward. He did use his bonus action for something else, so he can't go further.
Where do I go from here?
One can't always be a gentleman, indeed.
Move Gale out, help Shadowheart, do a little bit of damage. And let's see, we have 45% chance to hit him with our torch, 65 with Sacred Flame, 16% at disadvantage for our fire. Bludgeoning damage is doubled, so if we use that lower hit chance with our blunt weapon, it would do more damage. But let's go ahead and just Sacred Flame. And then they get to go. You're not always going to be grouped together like this, but the way that we rolled initiative, that's apparently where we ended up. Let's run Astarion over here, and we will aim down. I forgot, this railing is silly. Can you do it where it's open? It like prevents you from targeting things straight below you, which is unfortunate because that's what I was planning on doing, but that's okay. We will just slice the guys up here.
But to keep going.
Sneak attack on our second rogue. More than enough damage. And we can move up to our next target.
Halo for the ages. Knight to King 5.
And these should be the same. Yes. Doesn't matter which one we use.
Concentrate.
Sacred Flame again. I was like, man, this one sure is taking a lot more hits than the other ones, but he had 28 hit points instead of the lower amount that the
Press on.
scribes have had. Yeah, that's there. All right, let's just come over here. The other two can take care of the other one. And
Can't even catch
run
my
our rogue
breath.
up.
Best be on my way.
Nice. All right, we don't really need to move or do anything. We'll move this direction.
Let's have some carnage.
Nope, nope, not that one.
A better position.
Time to push my luck again.
Okay, and then, oh, no, no, oh, Gale.
Distance.
Okay. We want to be at range for these abilities. They sure like silencing us. We can just run Astarion over here, and we should be able to get this with just a normal arrow.
Did not surrender their secrets lightly. Something drove them to resist.
So Gale just said those undead did not surrender their secrets lightly. Something drove them to resist. So let's go check that room we opened up before. Ooh, oh, sorry for the camera controls,
A
y'all.
lot of effort to hide one sarcophagus.
Better make camp soon. Might be a while before there's another chance to rest.
You're fine, Shadowheart. Don't worry. Okay, we got an amulet of lost voices, which will let us cast the Speak with Dead spell. Very useful in this game. And let's check out the sarcophagus.
So he has spoken, and so thou standest before me. Right, as always. What a curious way to awaken. Now, I have a question for thee. What is the worth of a single mortal's life?
During my first playthrough of this, I was like, why can't I answer the question right now? We have more surprised answers to respond to first. So I can say quite the question. What's the reason for it? So he has spoken. Who is the he you are talking about? Little spooked by the crawling out of the tomb bit. What are you? Or a peaceful undead. Interesting. Why aren't you attacking me? So for this character, let's go ahead and say... Little spooked by the crawling out of the tomb. What are you?
I am not the same as those thou hast slain, if that is what thou askest. Wilt thou answer my question?
Yes, sir, I will.
So, I ask again, what is the worth of a single mortal life?
All right. No one life is worth more than any other. We are all equal. That depends on the person's deeds. Life's only value is its currency. Doesn't matter to me otherwise. Each life is of infinite value and merits sacrificing everything for. The only life that matters is mine, and it depends on the mortal. Trying to channel my character once again. We're trying to learn her vibe. You notice, I feel like in my heart, we could say like depends on the mortal because we certainly do a lot of killing, right? But, or have in this situation and probably will moving forward. I'm going to say we're all equal.
In death, that is so. Very well. I am satisfied.
Oh, good. We have earned Wither's approval.
Met, and I know thy face. We will see each other again at the proper time and place. Farewell.
All right. I wonder if we shall see him again.
Always room for more.
All right. We're gonna poke our heads out over here. This isn't an exit, but again, in the spirit of there are things I know because I played the game. So we're gonna come over here where there's a little lever we can pull and climb up this ladder. This takes us back outside behind the temple entrance. I keep forgetting what to call this. I don't remember the name. We have some vines we can climb up. And ooh, there's balsam here for our healing potions.
Something over there.
And we found a dirt mound that we can dig up with the shovel we picked up outside the tomb. All right, let's come back down here. I think I missed some balsam down here. I could be wrong, but we'll go back in where we were. Oh, I missed dagger root. And we'll head back down. We do have this other set of doors we haven't gone down yet.
Let's see what this does.
All right. And I cautiously enter the room. Lots of failed perception checks from our party. Gale, why would you run that far? I wasn't running that far. Okay, we're going to ungroup everyone. We're going to bring Gale over here.
Excellent choice.
And I'm going to cheese this a little bit because I don't have a disarm toolkit on me yet. We haven't made it to a town to purchase one, and we haven't found one. So normally we would try and like disarm this, but oh no, Shadowheart, stay over there. We're gonna use our rogues to use knowledge that Denise has brought from the past to solve this room puzzle. You can see that there's multiple traps on the floor, and the sarcophagus itself is trapped. And there's also a button here, but if we click the button, it doesn't do anything yet. So we're gonna have one person by the button. We're gonna bring our little gnome over.
At the ready.
I'm gonna stand. Nope. Oh God, over here. We're gonna stand over here and open the trapped chest. And then we're immediately going to go into our inner base turn mode. This room took me so long to figure out the first time I did it, so I would feel bad about Astarion. Oh. Okay, Astarion fell on the grease. It's fine. We're gonna come over. I would feel bad about using the information that I have in the future, but I already suffered through this, so we're just gonna press the button. And the traps turn off, which is great. We're gonna help up our friend Astarion, sorry.
Let's get going.
Continuously say his name wrong. Astarion just sounds so formal. Okay. Helped our friend up, and now we can open the tomb. Okay. Let's loot the rest of the things in here. Oh, we can leave the basement. I will tell you, if you don't disarm the traps immediately, which again I have done and suffered through, the gargoyles on the wall will shoot fire at you. Combined with those grease traps, it's a bad time.
Watch how you go. There's a trap.
We don't have to worry about them because we disarmed it.
Strange coin.
And we found
What?
a soul coin, which is has a strange, incomparable whispers emanating from the coin, pervading your mind with rage and despair. And a note that these can power infernal engines. Might be useful later. We'll see. All right, we're gonna come over here. We can regroup our party. And lockpick the door. This is one of our higher DCs we've had so far. I think we've had a couple other 15s. And we found where that door to the beach went. I guess it's a DC 15. Is it higher from this side? I might have been totally incorrect when I said we couldn't open it earlier, but it is what it is. All right, we are going to vamp on over to the roadside cliffs, and we'll pick up here in our next video. So thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you had fun in the temple. I think I got everything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything, and I look forward to streaming with you guys again. Thanks so much for joining me. I knew I was forgetting something. We're going to read the books that pertain to the overall storyline. So I've gone through my inventory. You didn't have to sit there on the stream watching. And we're going to read a few little tomes that might be important later. So the first one is The Unclaimed. This one reads, "In life, her service had been impeccable. Daily did she devote herself to the Lady of Loss. Daily did she free herself from the tyranny of all memory. All in time was lost to her, her relations, her preferences, even her own name. Upon the altar of her devotion placed she the ultimate offering, her emptied mind. When she died, she awoke in death and found herself standing in the pale, faded city of judgment. She waited for the Lady of Loss to retrieve her. A million souls and more passed in colorless gusts, but no hand materialized in her hand. No voice whispered instructions in her ear, no guidance proffered itself from the bleached and barren sky. Time, immaterial time, passed around her like air coming and going, and still the goddess did not come for her devotee. Kelemvor pitied her as much as the Lord of the Dead is able, but could not intervene. This cleric of the Lady of Loss, unclaimed despite her worthiness, might yet have one more lesson to learn, that not of forgetting, but being forgotten." Next, we have Death and Divinity, a Godly Guide. A little bit on the same page there. Death is too powerful a force for even a single god to contain. It is a duty that has been passed from hand to hand, splintered into smaller pieces, disease, war, funeral rites. But there must always be an overseer of the cycle as life falls away. For countless eons, it was Durgal, the lord of the end of everything, presided over mortality with its unblinking stare until he grew weary. That was the statue we saw earlier. Young Bal, Bane, and Myrkul must have thought themselves conquerors when they came for the god of death, yet he used their ambitions to free himself. Miracle claimed primacy over death from Jurgel's bargain, but even he does not rule death alone. What is murder if not the most violent of deaths, seized by Baal in his incessant greed? What need would there be for noble Kelemvor to judge passing souls if no one deity could hold the process entire? Even gods can die after all, and those who worship death should be remembered above all else. We have the Mortal View, eyewitness accounts of the Baal spawn crisis. Baal was mentioned in that last book we just read. The guild seal on the inside of the cover belongs to a printmaking collective in Baldur's Gate. Of course I remember. I knew the second that girl was walking that she would be trouble. Little thief, always in everyone's business. And that ward of Gorion went right along with her. No surprise a wicked god's blood was running through their veins. Anonymous at Candlekeep. Saravok and his lot are always the first that come to mind, but you know, this all started with a bit of the iron in Nashkel. Everyone thought their weapons would rot out their hands back then. I thought the problem was a bad trade. Never took the man for a son of Baal. Omnian mercenary interviewed on deathbed. You dare speak that name to me? My mistress was turned to ash fighting for those forsaken wretches. I curse Baal. I curse Irenicus. I curse you. A hostile vampire in the Athkalta slums. The five tore Tethir to pieces. I don't think anyone expected more Ballspawn showing up would fix the war that a pack of them started. Then again, they were all inclined to killing each other. Good riddance. Here's hoping every last one of them has been wiped off the face of Faerun. Saradouche Merchant, retired. I am not authorized to talk about any murder with someone like you. Take it up with the Sea Tower if you would like to argue. But honestly, who cares if Ballspawn got it stuck to them? Their father is the killing type after all. Flaming Fist Gauntlet, Baldur's Gate. There are several hundred more interviews that follow, most of them terse. Finally, we have Curse of the Vampire, something close to my heart, ready to Curse of Strahd campaigns. Hearken close and beware the vampire, beware its cold beauty, beware its charm, beware its curse. Above all, beware the pale noble, for the vampire cannot bear to be of the common folk. How doth one protect from the beast? Walk not in the blackest of night, for the vampire loves these nights more than any other. If you must walk, do so by the light of our moon, and take care. Carry the blessings and marks of your god at all times. But remember, your home is a fortress of protected well. If you hear a knock in the night, be wary. Let no stranger into your home. If it be friend, look upon them. Do they seem pale and wan? See you any mark upon their neck? See you any dirt upon their clothes? Unless their need is great, turn away all but the most trusted. And if the beast finds its way into your home, flee, leave love and family behind. You will not save them in your fight. You will not see them again, but they will see you pale and smiling, calling them into the night. All right, so those may be pertinent in our campaign here. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.